Sir, should we start now, sir?
Yeah, we'll start, Milan.
Okay.
Aishwarya?
Morning to everyone present here today. I hope everyone is staying safe and staying at home. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves and their families. I would now like to ask Mr. Vijaykanth, sir, to give the welcome address to start off this session. Sir?
Good morning, everyone. Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It gives me immense pleasure to start this auspicious occasion by heartily welcoming everyone. I heartily welcome our chief guest, respected HOD, faculty members, and my dear students. Today, we have gathered here for the guest lecture on product design. I also want to extend a note of thank you to our chief guest, Ms. Aishwarya, design engineer, Ford Motors Company, for accepting our invitation. Once again, I welcome you all. I hope that today's session will be very useful for all the participants. Thank you. I hand over the session to Miss Aishwarya. Aishwarya?
Hello, everyone. A very good morning. First of all, a very big thank you to all of you for giving me this opportunity. And okay, let me start sharing my screen. Can I share my screen?
Yes, yes, Aishwarya. Yes.
Can you see my screen? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. We can see
No,
you.
Aishwarya. It's yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, first let me explain about myself. I was born and brought up in Salem, and my father is a senior marketing manager in Lotus Care Hospital, and my mother is a homemaker. And I have completed my BE Mechanical Engineering in 2018 with CGPA 7.35. And initially, I have started my career with a very small scale industry, like some wiring kind of industry. But day by day, as I'm working there, I have started looking for new opportunities, and then I was placed in HCL Technologies, deputed to Ford Motor Company. After working there, I just got converted to Ford, like on roll. I just got converted, and now I'm into CAD project. Let me go to the next slide. Okay, this is our agenda, which we are going to look in the upcoming slides. Okay. First of all, what is a design? Design is a combination of science and an art. So when you are coming for design, we have two designs. One is creative design, and the one another one is adaptive design. Nowadays in industries, we use mostly adaptive design. Like adaptive design in the sense, we are not going to create the entirely new part or a new component or a new assembly. We are just going to bring the design from the existing one. Like you have if you are going for Hyundai or something, like if it is like i20, any example you can take. In that you have Magna Sports, like you have different varieties, right? So if you are going for the next one, like Astar or something like that, you are going to bring up the existing model which is present. You are not going to make up for a new entire new assembly, or not only for the same variant, but also for if you are going for i10 or any different kinds of variants. Also, if you are going, we are going to use the same surface, that is A surface or B surface, or anything like whatever it is, you are going to bring up from the existing model, like whichever the car that is present in the existing that you are going to bring up. And then creative design, which is the one that is entirely new, like from scratch you are going to develop a new design. Like in developing a new design in the sense where it will be used in not in the OEMs. OEMs will always go for the adaptive design, not the creative design. They will have one studio surface and everything they will have by their own, and they will just modify the changes according to the requirement. That is what they will be doing. See, one thing I need to be clear here, because see, 2D drawings are one of the most plays a vital role here. 2D drawings, I just want, like 2D drawings will never some you may get a chance, like we are not using 2D anymore, something like that, but it is not in that way. 2D drawings plays a vital role where we have um, uh, see, GD&T and all we have in those 2D drawings, right? That is a language of communication in 2D drawing. And now if you are going for softwares, we have many softwares now we are using in the current industries, like CATIA, UGNX, SolidWorks, and then ProE, Creo, those kind of softwares we are using. But I will come to that later, like which kind of softwares you need to learn for the futures. Those things I'll come later. But now we will go with the design. See, evolution of design. Initially in design, it was like a single person owns the entire design, develops from scratch until production. A single person will be responsible for all the part. That is called as craftsmanship. That was followed in the ancient days. But then we have come to the over the wall approach. See, over the wall approach in the sense, one will be very good at the door trim, that is side closures and those things. One will be very good at the headliner, that is over the roof. The roof part can do, one can do better, and the side closure one can do better. So in that case, if one is completed this part, then it will go one completed the side closure, that is the door trim. If one has completed, then he will go next to the roof. That roof is getting fitted to the side closure, that is door. So in that case, it is called as over the wall approach. That is one by one. If first step is completed, then it will be going to the second step. If second step is completed, then only it will move to the third step. That is called as over the wall approach. And then it over the wall approach is something kind of like it is time consuming. Like if you have completed one part, then only it will be going to the other part. That doesn't work in our industries, because we need to manage our time, right? So, and then later they have come for the concurrent engineering. I hope you guys are aware of concurrent engineering. Concurrent engineering in the sense, everybody will be parallelly working. If we are going to work for the interior trims, the car interiors will be worked by the, I'm just taking an example as a car, since I am in an automobile industry. You can take whatever you just think it of. See, considering a car interior trims, one team will be performing, and side closure door trims another team will be performing, and like chassis one team will be performing. Like every team will be working parallelly, and all together they will connect it. And that is called as DPA, digital performance check, will be done. See, in digital performance check, when they will do is, when they have completed all the parts, like all the assemblies, components, everything is done. And what they will do is, they will just mate all the parts and they will check for the clearance. In the clearance must be minimum 3 between between one component and the other component. If we have that clearance, then only we will be able to connect it. So I can give you one example. Interruptions. Okay. Let me give you one example. If this is going to be the headliner roof of the car top roof, and here you will get the door, right? This side one door, and this side one door. And if you have if it is in six door car, here also we have one CD pillar. Like, yeah, this is roof, and here we will have A pillar, B pillar. Sorry, A pillar, B pillar, and CD pillar. So yeah, all this will see this top roof headliner. One team will be doing A
Aishwarya,
pillar one.
it's not visible.
Okay,
What you are showing, it's not visible.
no, I'm just making the markings. Is it not visible?
Yes.
Okay. Let me share again. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. Let me explain now. See, if you are going to consider this as an headliner, like roof, a car top roof, and you will have the door here, and you will have the pillar, and you will have another door, and you will have the CT pillar here. Okay, and the quarter trim part will be available here. See, in this case, this headliner, someone will be doing this part, and this door, one person will be doing, and the pillar, one person will be doing, and this is done by some person. So all these persons will be parallelly working, and they will meet the requirements, and they will come for DPA, that is digital performance check. So the digital performance check, what they will do, they will assemble all the parts, that is interior trims, headliners, hard trim, soft trim, everything. They will just bring it into one one full form. And what they will do, they will just do the check, and they will just see for the clearance. If all the clearance that is okay, that is minimum 3 clearance, that if that comes okay, then they will proceed for that next step. In when there is some error or something in we found in DPA, then again it will go for the design. So design one, if here it considering this, if here we don't have the 3 clearance, that is, I'm telling the minimum clearance, it is not like 3 for all the parts. Minimum we should have 3 okay. If we don't meet the requirements here, then either the roof team or the door trim team again need to work on it, and they just need to sort that before going to the FDJ. See, FDJ is nothing but final design judgment. Final design judgment will be completed once the design process is completed. Okay, so I'll just go that into the next slide. Okay, see, a product design is a process of creating a new product to be sold by a business to its customers. We have these many steps, like customer and competitor research, brainstorming sessions, input, design evaluation, styling freeze, prototype, and product launch. Now where we are, there is this input by R&D team. This is what we are going to see in the upcoming slides. See, when do we have the need for a design? Need for a design in the sense, first we need to go and check in the market whether we have any competitors for the same product, or we don't have any. If we have a competitor, then we need to check off the cost requirement, what is the cost they are giving for, and how come we will be able to sustain in the market. That we need to check. Then after checking that, if it is necessary, if we are going to launch that product, then we have to analyze what is the design we are going to give, what is the requirement what is the requirement, and what, based on the requirement, where we are going to design, and what kind of product we are going to make, and what, where is the manufacturing, what is the cost we are going to fix. If that cost will work out, and if that gives a profit for the company, and that plays a good role in the society, that is environment, that also we need to check. Then we will come for the design. See, before design we have these many works to that is, those are the groundwork which we need to perform to go for a complete product or a design. This design evaluation is what DPA, what I have mentioned before. This is design evaluation. So now, if we are going the in the effectiveness of the design process will be checked by three terms. One is product cost, another one is product quality, and the time to market. Time to market, I can give you one small example. See, Ford has launched an EcoSport around 4 to 5 years ago, I guess. I'm not exactly sure about which year it has launched. So Ford has launched the EcoSport. At the same time, Hyundai was also going for the Creta. See, both are of same variant, okay, but Ford has launched EcoSport for some around 10 or 11 lakhs or something like that. But Hyundai has launched a Creta. First, when Hyundai is going to launch for Creta, they are thinking for that EcoSport, and they are, there is some kind of thing was because that is a competitor for Hyundai. So what they did first, they have announced the price like 13 lakhs. Hyundai first announced the Creta for the basic end for 13 lakhs. Then what they did while launching, they have brought the Creta to 11 lakhs. That is some kind of business strategy they have performed it there. So the time to market also plays an important role when they are having some competitors in the current market. Then they have to consider the time of releasing the product which they are going to bring up into the eh, um, in, into the market. So product cost, first we need to think of the cost, and then quality, and then time to market. So all these are mainly based on the competitor and the amount of work which is going to be done here. So next, okay, this is the main slide. See, in design, like we have a separate team called product development, that is PD team. Okay, we have two kinds of product development. One is new product development, another one is ongoing product development. New product development will happen before FDJ, that is final design judgment. Ongoing product development will happen after FDJ. Okay, so okay, new product development, what it is. So if we are going for a new product, like some extended version of any product, or something like whatever new variant it is coming, whatever it is, it will come under the new product. So new product is nothing but we have a term called uh, product database system. Okay, so what is a product database system? Product database system is a system that that will enable us to enable us to fix a time period for a set of design. Okay, or now I'll explain you what it is. If you are going to perform a design for a product, okay, you just need a to fix a time period, like this surface must be released before this time period, this surface must be released before this time period, like that you need to um, set you need to give some time period for it. Okay, we have split it into three variants, that is, one is upper body, another one is underbody, another one is powertrain. This is three variants. It will be denoted by a three letter number, or it will be denoted by a three numbers or three letters. Okay, let me give you some example. If it is if you are denoting it by number, it may vary from 6 to 1. If it is I'll give you an example, like if you are going for 651, if this is denoted for an for a product, if it will be denoted by this three letter number. If this is denoted, this is for upper body, this is for underbody, and this number is for powertrain. Okay, if upper body is denoted by 6, then it is not a carryover. Underbody, you are going to entirely design a new variant, like from scratch you are going to develop it as a new one. So the scale varies from 6 to 1. That in that case, this is upper body alone you are going for entirely new. Underbody, if it is 5, then what it is, so some few of the parts alone you are doing it as a carryover. Rest all what you are going to do, you are going to create an entirely new one. Only if you are going for underbody, if you are going chassis alone, you are going to take it from the old design, you are going to make it as an adaptive design, and the rest all you are going to create it as a new one. That is 5. So then this one is entire powertrain is entirely carryover. You are not going to develop anything new, but what you are going to do is you're just going to bring up the existing one, and you're going to place it in the new one. That and the design, that is what, but you have some small corrections, like material addition, material removal, those kind of things you will have. But not major changes like upper body and underbody. So now, based on this 3-digit number, they will decide the timeline. So if upper body is fully carryover, then you need around 45 weeks to make that, 45 weeks to prepare just the upper body. Then if 5 means few parts are carryover and the rest are like new one you are going to create, then you need like 35 weeks for that. And if one is mostly it is carryover, only little changes we are going to do, so that is going to be like 4 weeks, like 45 plus 35 plus 4, all these combined together, they will decide the timeline for the particular set of car, or a truck, whatever it may be, that is going to come for the final design judgment. But this timeline is only till the final design judgment, not till the production. This timeline will go only for the final design judgment. Before final design judgment, we have few milestones or gateways. Those milestones or something like, this set of design must be completed before this milestone. We have that milestone is nothing but a particular date. That date, before that date, we need to complete this kind of design, this kind of like a surface of the roof must a surface of the headliner roof in the car must be completed, say for example July 16. Before July you have to complete the a surface of the roof, then that will go as a milestone. Before that milestone, you need to complete that a surface. In that case, this new product development works. Okay, now going for the ongoing product development. So ongoing product development, with the name, you cannot consider like the ongoing product development is aftermarket cars. It is not like that. Ongoing product development in the sense that has completed its FDJ, the one that is final design judgment is over. That after that judgment, what are the changes we will be getting, that will be going for this ongoing product development. Ongoing product development in the sense, we will not get more a surface changes. A surface changes will be mostly completed in the new product development. In ongoing product development, where we will be having like, see, we have I'll like go for example for Ford Endeavor. Okay, Ford we have in India as a Ford Endeavor. In North America we have it as Ford Everest. In Europe we have it as Ford Everest. See, in all other regions we have it as Everest. The same car we are going to give it as an Everest. Okay, but we the kind of drive and the kind of need and all, it was different. If you could go for the handle, okay, in car indoors, you will above the doors you will have some handle to hold on, right? In India we have the steering in the right side, whereas in the Other countries we have the steering in the left side. Okay, so in those kind of situations where we will have the handle, even if you could go and see in the cars, in the above, in the near the driver seat, you will have one like attachment, not the attachment, you will have some, like what I can say, you have some pathway for that attachment, but that will be closed, unsealed. That is because it will be going for the other regions also, where they will have the handle there, because they will have the left hand drive, right, like right hand drive, right? So you will have the you'll have some pathway for that attachment. In so if it is going for different region, then you need to make some small modifications according to the regions. Those small modifications will be going in the ongoing product development. Like they will create one basic assembly in the new product development. Once that FDJ is over, and when it is comes to region, that this design is going for this region, if a particular design is going for the North America region, and the particular design is going for the Europe market, and particular design is going for the Indian market. So according to the regional requirement, they have particular set of rules, like this car must have this pollution capacity, this capacity, like that. They have some certain set of rules. According to the rules, they will just move, they will just work on it, and those kind of changes will be done in the ongoing product development. Like nothing much surface changes, but you will have those changes according to the regions, or the according to the maybe the ongoing product development will be before the production, so they would have developed some prototypes or something like that. When developing a prototype, and when we are doing some kind of tooling for that prototype, we may face some errors, like some like this will not be done in water jet cutting, we cannot do this, like that. They have some they may get some complications while preparing a prototype. So in that case, they will again come to the design, they will again come to this product development team, that is PD team, and now they will again give some changes. Those kind of changes will also happen in this ongoing product development. So because once we are going into the production, it is a huge production, right? At that time we cannot go and change these tooling kind of things and all. But that may impact a lot of cost. So before that itself, we are going to complete this. That is where we are doing this NPD and OPD. Okay, now, uh, oh, I'll just tell you a few things. Now I'm currently into the body interiors in Ford. So what are the parts that I have worked? Let me explain about it. We have few commodities like hard trim, soft trim, and fascia, finish panel and registers, and headliner, roof assembly, those kind of things we have. These are the commodities which we are working in interiors. Okay, hard trim is nothing but we will have it as a carpet, and those A pillar, B pillar, CT pillar, those things and all, we will have it as hard trim. Quarter trim panel, those things and all we will have. Soft trim, soft trim is nothing but the in instrument panel, the thing which is going to be in front of us, like near the steering we will have some plastic parts, right? Those things will come under the soft trim. Fascia is nothing but the grill assembly, which we are having it in front of the car, and back grill, those things and all, like bumper, front bumper, rear bumper, and grills, those things and all, we have it in the fascia. Headliner is nothing but the roof assembly, the which means the car entire roof is called as headliner. Those are the things which we are working currently. We usually use the CATIA software. Okay, CATIA software, it actually AutoCAD is the basic for all the design softwares. If you are if you are learning with the if you have learned thoroughly with the AutoCAD or the SolidWorks, then all the other softwares will be easy for you to learn. So Katya, I have just given two slides, like which will be easy for you to understand the concepts when you're going through some YouTube videos or something like that. Okay, so Katya is nothing but a computer aided three-dimensional interactive applications. It is used in most of the industries like automobile, aerospace, and shipbuilding, and so on. So there are we have six modules in Katya. I'll just go through the modules alone. I don't want to indulge you more so that you will get confused with the other softwares which you are learning now. Since I am working in Katia, so I thought I can give you few informations which will be useful for you to if you are willing to learn Katia, this will be very much useful for you. Katia is used in Ford, and then BMW, and many other automotives. They are using Katia as a design software. Okay, Sketcher. Sketcher, we have two sketchers. One is normal sketch which we are developing, and one is based on the positional sketch. So positional sketch is nothing but you are going to position it in some axis. You have three axes, right? XY axis, YZ, and ZX axis. So in these three axes, you are just going to position it, and you're with that horizontal and the vertical axis, you are going to draw. We in industry, they will use mostly the positional sketch, not that normal sketch, because when you are using the positional sketch, it is easy to move from one place to another place. Like if you are just changing the axis or the coordinates, you will be able to move from one place to another. So that will be the best option. So whenever you are creating a design, you always must be aware of it, that if we are going to change a position, it must be able to easily move the position. In that case only your design will be evaluated properly. So when you are learning a software, or when you are learning to design something, you must be aware of how to position it first. So we have three axes, as I mentioned it earlier. So xy, yz, and zx axis. So here in this we have if we are going inside the sketch, this box will be the geometry box. Okay, see, this is this icon will enable you to go for a straight line, even the curved ones, or if you are going to draw an corner rectangle, like in the corners you won't have thick end. In those this corners you need circle with a radius, and again you need a line. And this corner you're going for a circle with a radius, and again it's a line. I'm sorry for this bad drawings, like mouse option, it is not proper, so I cannot draw a proper one. Let me know if you can't understand. Okay, so if you're going again for a circle and then line, and if you're going again for a circle, in this case this will be most useful tool. You in the same case, you can go for the circle, you can go for the triangle, you can go for the lines, whatever shape you want. If you know the shape, and if you're going to make that for a component, then this will be the best option. And then rectangle, if you're going for the rectangle, we have a different types of rectangle, right? Centered rectangle and the cornered rectangle, those kind of rectangles, right? All the options will be available in the rectangle. And also the circles, we have 3-point arc circle, centered circle, and then radius with the whether based on radius, diameter, those kind of different types of circles we have. All those options we have. If we have got only 3 points, and with the help of these 3 points, if you're going to make a circle, that is also possible. Like we have n number of variety, like we have n number of options in CATIA. You just want to know what option and which option to be used for this component, and later on. So next will be a spline option. Spline option, it will be mostly used for the tubes, shaft, and those kind of things. This spline option will be very much useful. And then the eclipse, and so on. This will be the few of the options. See, again, I'm telling, I'm not going in depth in CATIA, because you cannot understand few things in few things if it is an oral narration. You just have to get into the field and you have to know more about it. Okay, then if you are come, see, in okay, next, this is the main part in sketch, right? So what it does, it is constraint. Whatever sketch you are doing, whatever sketch you are, like, if you're drawing a rectangle or a semicircle, whatever it is, if you are going to draw a component, for example, dog house, whatever, if you're going to create a dog house, what you are going to do is, first you have to think, like, if the sketch is constraint or not. Constraint is nothing but you're giving the dimensions and make it as a fixed one. Because if you're uh, let me tell you, if you're drawing a dog house, okay, if this is going to be your dog house, if you're just moving this line, if we are just moving this line, this should not move. If you're moving this line, then entire dog house must move. This line must not go separately. In order to do that, you're just going to give the dimension, like what is the dimension of this part, of this surface, like, the constraint is nothing but you are just going to create the dimensions for that entire doggos. I'm taking doggos as an example. See, constraint is very, very important, and it plays a vital role in creating a sketch. Whatever sketch you are preparing, you have to be very clear that it is constraint. If it is constraint, then only you will be able to create a surface or full closed component, or and whatever it is. So either it must be a constraint or it must be a closed surface. Then only you will be able to create a surface. Okay, so this is this constraint toolbar. You have to be very much aware of it. Please consider this. Okay, then again, this is in sketch. Okay, then if you're going for part design is the one where, after developing a sketch, what you are going to do is, you are going to do as a pad is nothing but adding a material. Then pocket is nothing but removing a material. You have to know the difference between the pad and the pocket. With the help of pad and the pocket, you will be able to create an entire component, if it is a closed surface or if it is constraint. This pad, pocket, surface, creating a hole, ribs, everything will work out only if the sketch is constraint or if it is a closed surface. If these two are met, then only we will be able to create a surface. So this is pad, pocket, shaft, and you will be able to create a shaft, that is you are going to add a material in a spline. Okay, so in those kind of things will be happen only in these base features, that is part design. So again, if dress up features are nothing but you are going to give a fillet or chamfer or something like that. See, most of the interview questions will be based on these kind of differences. What is the difference between pad and a pocket? So what is the difference between fillet and a chamfer? Those kind of uh, differences they will be asking it. And also, if you're going to add a material, this thickness, if you're already having a surface but another you are having one more mating surface, but the clearance is more there, so you just need to add few more material in it. In those kind of things you can use this thickness command. If you're just going to use it and you use this thickness command and you're going to give some thickness, then it will be then you don't need to go for much complications, like you're not going for sketch and you're going to alter this, but instead you can simplify with this thickness command. This is transformation features where we will have the mirror, rotation. See, again I'm coming to the first point. AutoCAD also you will have these kind of same features, this mirror, rotation, because AutoCAD is a lab subject we will have, right? So in that itself, if you have learned it well, all the other softwares will be very much useful for you. And then next you are coming for the assembly. Assembly is nothing but, see, if you are having a surface and you are going to have a clip tower, and after that clip tower you are going to have a doghouse. Okay, see, where you will use the clip towers and where you will use doghouse. So the doghouse is nothing but, if you're having a if you're having a surface, and if that height is not enough, like to compensate, then what you are going to do is you will just going to have a doghouse there to increase the height, or to match up with the mating part. We are going to have the doghouse in order to clip the doghouse with the mating part. We will use this clip towers to mount the clips. So clip towers, clips, doghouse, these are the attachments which we are using it in a in an automobile site. So now this okay, now you have created a sketch and you have done the part design, like pad, pocket, whatever you want you have done, and you have assembled it. And then next, see, when you are doing it, so you will have this specification tree. This is how the specification tree looks like. The specification tree is very much important, because you will have the history of the part which you have created. The history of the part will be visible only in this specification tree. If see, this point one is there, right? If you are going to change this point one, this entire part is going to change. This entire history is going to update based on this point one and the point two. So in that case, the whole part will ask for an update. With this history, it will be easy for us to change the position of the part, or to learn how someone have created the part from scratch to the assembly. So this specification tree is very much important, and you have to uh, know more about, like, the process, understanding, for understanding the part. This is important. And final one is like boolean operations. See, this boolean operations is like, it will be applicable in assemblies, adding, subtract, add, subtract. And if you're going to uh, do that, see, for example, I have shown here, right? If primitive is in the sense block and the cylinder, what are the difference? If it is, means that in this block, if you're going to insert a cylinder, that cylinder part must be an like a kind of hole in the block, right? So that will be going for the difference. If it is an intersect, only that cylinder part will remain, and the whole block part will be removed. And if it is going to be a join, then what it is going to happen? it will be mated with the block. So these are the boolean operations which we are using in CATIA. See, CATIA, if you're going to learn, I just want you to be very clear about this boolean operations and the part design. If you're okay with the part design and the boolean operations, then you are good to go with the CATIA. These two are very much important in CATIA. Okay. So these are the things which have been prepared for the technical. I'm sorry I cannot go much deeper into such kind few topics. Maybe I'll just say you can contact me anytime if you have any doubts. Okay, now coming for the employment opportunities. Okay, and as I said earlier regarding the design, see, I can order the soft I can make it in order to learn few softwares in mechanical. Okay, first is CATIA, because CATIA is a software where many OEMs are using, even if it is of different region, either in North America or Europe, India, China, Australia, wherever it is. 76 percentage of the design data is used by CATIA. So if you are going to if you are passionate about design, or if you want to be a good designer, then first choice you can take for CATIA, like you can learn that. And then next one is NXCAD. NXCAD is used in like Caterpillar and Daimler Benz, and other few OEMs, they also use NXCAD. So second option will go for NXCAD, and the third option will go for the SolidWorks. So SolidWorks is mostly used where one has to create a big blocks or big components may be created with the help of SolidWorks. That will be very much useful. And fourth one is nothing but Creo or Proe. Creo or Proe is used in industries where they are preparing for tooling. Creo Proe is mostly used for tooling, and SolidWorks is used for big blocks and those kind of creation. And CATIA is mostly used for the surface changes, like creating a surface, those kind of things. The CATIA we will be using it. And uh, we have few OEMs, right? Like Fiat Chrysler, General Motors, and Renault, Nissan, Ford. Many OEMs we have in Chennai. See, all the OEMs now they have some recruitment for that GAT, graduate apprentice trainee. They will tell it is something related to PM scheme. That's Prime Minister scheme. Okay, if you get a chance to work in that scheme, you may take that offer. Maybe initially they will provide like monthly 17,500 with some allowance or something like that. That PM scheme, if you have applied, and those you will get a chance to work in a OEM for a year. I'm not sure whether they will make you as a permanent employee or not, but that 1 year of exposure will give you a lot of things to learn, like in industrial needs. What are the industrial needs, how you should behave, what are the things that you need to learn. Those things must be, it will be very much useful for you. So that will be first option. And second one is like now most of the industries are into automation, right? See, if you are going in some in plant or whatever, wherever you are going, you will be able to see robots everywhere. You will be able to see the robots which will be performing the drilling, welding and assembling. Those kind of operations will be done by the robots, because we all know that we will get some manual errors, but the automation process will be exactly good, right? So in those cases you have to be, if you're going for an automation engineer, or if you're going for some like in those automation kind of process, then you have to be very much good in hydraulics, pneumatics, CAD CAM. In those kind of things you have to be good at it. And then see, as I said earlier, since you are a fresher, they will more concentrate on the 2D drawings. 2D drawings is very much important. See, how you are reading a drawing is very very important. If you have given one drawing and if you need to read the drawing, that the language is GD&T. So with you will have the tolerance. Those things will be learned only if you are very much aware about GD&T. GD&T is nothing but where you will have just 14 symbols. If you're those 14 symbols, you just go through it, and what are those 14 symbols and what it is mentioned and what when where it is used for. If you are not going to give that GD&T, what will happen when it has come to manufacturing? Those kind of points you must be very clear about it. So if it is a 2D drawing, and see, you'll if like first angle projection and third angle projection, you must be aware of it, right? So all the basic interview questions will be like, what is the difference between the first angle and the third angle? And you those kind of questions you must be very much aware of it. See, why in India we are using third angle projection? If it is a third angle projection, what is the symbol used for it? So those kind of things you must be very much clear about it. So then uh, then after coming to the departments, if you are, what are the departments that you can work as a mechanical engineer? First one is like R&D, research and development, and then design, testing, manufacturing, operation and maintenance, marketing and sales, administration and management. These departments will be available as a mechanical engineer. First you have to sit and think in which department you need to focus on. If for example, if you're going to focus on design, then you have to think of which OEM you are going to get in through. It is not like you need to go only to the OEM. Also you can go for some small scale companies where they design it. See, for example, I can tell you, if you're aiming for Ford, okay, they are having some like vendor resources. They have four vendors. One is HCL Technologies, another one is RLE International, and Satyam Venture and Easy Technologies. They have these four vendors. They will recruit only through these four vendors, and everyone will be working as a vendor for a particular period of time. So now, if you want to go for the Ford, consider these vendors. You have to work for those vendors first. So then, directly as a fresher we cannot go into a OEM, but that we can go. I'm not saying like we cannot, but that is little difficult. Instead, if you are going to concentrate on these vendor companies, and you see, placing in a vendor company is little easier when compared with the OEM. So if like now how I have given example for Ford, you have also have the vendor for Renault, Nissan, Hyundai, and so on. So what is the OEM that you are going to focus? You are going to fix that first, then go for those vendor companies. That OEM, what are the vendors they are supporting? They in that vendor, how to get placed in that vendor? Just you need to do some groundwork in order to get placed in some company. See, initially I was also 3 months I was searching for job. I went to all the companies, like I have given resume, even in some small scale industries, whatever it is, I have went and I've given the resume. But in 3 months, in 3 months where I have gone, I have got nearly four offers. Like without that groundwork you cannot do anything, right? So first you need to fix which we are going and what is the company is about, and how, what are the vendors in. See, when you are going to fix this, you should not stay idle. In the meantime, whatever the work you have got, you have to work on it. Like, you should not get a gap between your education and the first work. Now it is not a negative mark, but instead if you are going for some small scale industry also, that is fine. That see, whatever the work is, even if you are earning a single penny with the help of your education, that is really worth it. So it see, now many people will think like, no, I have completed mechanical, I have to go only to these kind of jobs, those kind of jobs, it is something like that. No, whatever the work, see, now employment is very difficult in this COVID situation, right? So whatever the work you get, just get into that work, and side by side you can search for some new opportunities. See, you cannot wait for some new opportunities. Instead, use the opportunity which you have, and then go for some best ones. So industries also, we have many industries: automobile, machinery, utilities, chemical, computer manufacturing, mining, petroleum, etc. We have wide varieties of industries wherever you want. You just select, first you need to select the industry, then you are going for the department, then you are going for the company, which company you need to go on. These much groundwork you need to put in order to get placed in the company. And then, see, these two are going to be your key mantras for going to be placed in some company or going to work for a company. See, I want all of you to get a profile in a LinkedIn, where you will have, you need to go through the post, and you need to follow. LinkedIn is nothing but where you will find many people from the companies, like even the CEO. Just don't compare with the CEO. Even you have the recruitment managers there. Every professional who is working, they will have some LinkedIn account. They may post the job opportunities, and whatever it is, they will, everything they will post it in LinkedIn. I got this Ford offer through LinkedIn. Okay, so I want you to go through the LinkedIn. Just follow the people who are good in who are in good place in some of the companies, which, see, example, if you're going to take for a Caterpillar, if you need to get placed in a Caterpillar, you can get all the contacts through LinkedIn. Just get the contacts through LinkedIn, message them. It is not like you need to go for the premium or something like that. Whatever it is, whatever which is available for free, you can use it, and you can just message them, and you can grab an opportunity. Without doing these things, you can, it is little difficult for you to get into the industry. And also, if in LinkedIn, they may update what are the new current updates in the company that is going on. So you can learn those things also in LinkedIn. See, instead of you people may be aware of social networks, right? In while using it, is also LinkedIn also a kind of social network only. But it is professional social network, where if one company is going to launch a new product, it will be visible in LinkedIn. So you must be very much aware about of the current affairs in your particular domain. For that, LinkedIn is very much needed for you people. So please consider this. And those who don't have any account, please create an account in the LinkedIn and use it effectively. And those who already have an account, just update your status that I'm currently into this, I have done this project. What are the projects that you are doing, also you can update in LinkedIn. Many people will be able to view that, and with the help of that also, you may grab some opportunities. And the next one is Udemy. Udemy is the website where they will offer you all the design courses just for 400 rupees. Okay, see, I'm not telling like you can with the certification. Okay, so I'm not telling like you have to go for that 15,000 rupees course to learn CATIA or something, or NXCAD or SolidWorks, something like that. Instead, you can just go for some basic models in Udemy, where you will get to know about the basics of some design softwares which you are learning, and then later go and get into the YouTube for so more advanced videos. But basic certification alone, you can get it from Udemy for around 400 rupees or 450 rupees or whatever. I have learned CATIA through this Udemy only. like you can not only in CATIA, whatever you want, even if you're interested in programming or coding, SQL, Python, whatever you want, everything is available in this Udemy just for some minimum amount. So you can I'm not like don't think like I'm marketing Udemy, but it is something like where college students can be aware of, and they can use this opportunity to learn more new things in minimal amount, right? So you can, yeah, use this website to learn the basics, and and later you can use YouTube to develop your skills, whatever you want in the advanced version. Even you have the same advanced versions also in Udemy, but that is more costlier, I guess. 2000 or 3000 it will take for advanced courses. Those advanced you can go for YouTube videos. Those YouTube videos will help you. See, if you want to learn a software, you many number of cracked versions are available in the internet. Just throw it in the Google, and you just download the software, and you just join some course, or with the help of some YouTube videos, uh, you just get into the field, and uh, try to do some groundwork and start learning the software. Without the software, just by seeing the videos or just by hearing the lectures, you cannot learn it. You have to work on it. Practice makes a man really a perfect one. So, and just make note of this LinkedIn and Udemy. It will be very much useful for you people. Since you are in the final year, you'll be able to learn, and you'll be able to grab some new opportunities. Okay, that's all from my side. Uh, I'm I'm open for questions now. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, if it's possible, could you please explain to us how you went from completing your bachelor's degree to working at this company for doing wires, designing wires, I'm guessing.
Yeah, sure. Actually, when I was doing my final year, I have done my industrial project in Robert Bosch, Bangalore. I have completed my final year project there, and after
Aishwarya,
that,
sorry for the interruption.
okay,
Can you switch on your camera for a while for
yeah,
recording purpose? Yeah.
sure.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Later, I was placed in some small company. Like initially, I was into wiring department, where we used to just join the wires, and we used to put it into the assembly. Those kind of maintenance and all I have worked for around 2 months. That is Kimmel, KIML. One small company was there. My first salary was like 8,000 per month, and I've just worked there for 2 months. Then later, I have started searching for some new opportunities. In even in Kimmel, we have worked for 12 hours per day, and 6 days per week. It is not like you have to grab every single opportunity which you are getting. And after that, I have posted a post in LinkedIn, like I'm searching for a job, and I have completed mechanical, and this is my project, and these are the things that I'm currently working on, and I'm interested in working for in working for a company like that. I have posted a post in the LinkedIn. With by viewing the post, many people contacted me, and in by that post only, I have got a contact for heads from HCL HR. One of the HCL HR have contacted me, and they said like, we have an opportunity in Ford, and if you are willing to come, we can consider you for interview. And there starts my journey, and I was interviewed in Ford. We had nearly 2 rounds. One is technical, and another one is HR managerial. So one thing I need to be very clear: you have to create a resume, but in resume, don't go for 2 or 3 pages and all. Just make it clear in a simple way in one page or maximum 2 pages. That will be enough. Since you are a fresher, don't go for 3 pages, 4 pages and all. Just make it in a 2 pages or one. A single page itself is very much. It is very much fine. And what are the things that you have updated in resume, you must be very much clear about it, because the interview questions will be 100% will be based on the resume information. Whatever the information which you have updated in the resume, that you may have some information like I have attended this seminar, I have attended this, um, I went for the symposium, like those kind of things. If you have mentioned in those kind of things, what are the things that you have listened in the symposium? What is the thing that you have learned there? What like that only the questions will start. If you have mentioned like I have done a seminar in engine, okay, then the questions would be mostly based on the engine. Then you must be very much clear about that topic. So whatever the topics that you have mentioned in resume, that is going to help you in your interview. Now, they see those people will never ask anything out of your resume. So make sure whatever the things that you are updating in your resume, that you will be aware of it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Guys, anything else? Do we have any questions?
There's only the safety certificate is enough for pay.
No, we
Uh,
cannot understand
yeah, I'm
what you
sorry,
are
I
asking.
cannot understand you.
I mean, in upcoming days, it's only this UG we can get
Aishwarya,
placed.
please mute yourself. Aishwarya, please mute yourself. Yeah. Yeah, Shiva. Post your question now.
Ma'am, in upcoming days, we can get placed with the UG or we should do some PhD.
Okay. See, it is completely dependent on you, and see, we have we have particular OEMs where you can work and then you can learn. In those kinds, I can give you some examples like BITS Pilani, you know, right? In Bangalore, we have that university. Those kind of university, they offer like they offer the regular course while you are working. Like you will have some weekend classes or online classes, those kind of things. Those are regular courses. In that will help you if you are if you want masters. Also, if you want to do it regular, that will be also fine. But it is not like mandatorily you want some master's degree for some good job. Even with the help of UG, you can do it. I have done only BE mechanical.
Thank you.
Ma'am, good morning. On behalf of the students, I would like to ask, since you are right now in the industry, um, in what way you think that the current trend is going to prevail with respect to the software? Because day to day, so many updated softwares are coming, right? So please tell us the students which will be sustainable. So if they learn this thing, then there is no problem in the future also. So I would like to hear the information from you.
Okay, now coming to the current trends, we have mostly autonomous vehicles or the electrified vehicles. So, if we are going for the 2025, many of the countries have said like there will be no more like engine vehicles. It will be mostly autonomous or the electric vehicles. So hybrid vehicles have started coming up. Even the Tata have launched some electric vehicles. So make sure that you are learning something which is based on the automation or electrified vehicles or whatever even if it is autonomous or if it is for electric, the design remains the same. Whatever we are going to do as a design, in design perspective, except the engine assembly, everything is going to remain same. So as I said earlier, you can go for the design softwares if you are interested in design.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any questions? Aishwarya, can you please explain how to join the 1 year training program in OEM? When we expect the call?
Once you come, once that year is over, that like you have that academic year, right? Once that academic year is over, you can just google it, like PM GAT openings. Like if you have just googled it, then you will get some link. In that link you can go and apply. Maybe I'll give you that link. Maybe I'll give it to you, sir, then you can just give it to the students. A few of my friends and a few of my juniors have also completed that training. Because of that 1 year experience, they got placed in many other OEMs with that experience. So you can try that 1 year training. Even you have a lot of chance to get placed in the same company also. Like Ashok Leyland is offering that, TVS is offering, Renault Nissan is offering. Many of the companies are offering that 1 year training. But for that 1 year training, you need to complete your degree.
Okay. You have said the 4 courses, no, 4 software courses.
Yes.
Can you recommend any one of out of 4 courses? Any one for the sustainable
Yeah.
thing?
If we are going for some particular 1 or 2 courses, then again it depends on the OEM you choose. As I mentioned earlier, in Ford they use CATIA, but in Daimler they use that NX CAD. First you have to fix which OEM or which company you are going to go, and according to that you need to select the software which you need to learn, because it varies from OEM to OEM. If your Daimler Benz is going to be your option, then you have to go for NX CAD. If Ford or Renault Nissan is going to be your option, then you have to go for CATIA. See, but CATIA is used in wide range of companies. Maybe that will be helpful for you. Yes.
But nowadays, some companies have their own softwares to design. Ma'am.
I'm not sure about it, but whatever the OEMs that I have asked for, in those kind of OEMs, they have used only these 4 softwares mainly. In when it is going for some tractor manufacturing or something like that, they're going for the SolidWorks. In tooling companies, they are going for Creo or Pro-E. In other surface finish, if we want those kind of things, then they are going for CATIA or NX CAD. I'm not sure if some companies are using their own softwares. I'm sorry about it.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, which CATIA program did you undergo under Udemy?
Basic one only.
Okay, ma'am.
CATIA basics. You can try. You have plenty of softwares in it. You can try whichever software you want. You can just give a try, and you will be certified.
Okay, ma'am. And how much weightage does the certification give you?
Sorry, it is an online
In
course. You'll
in
have some test at the end, and when you clear those tests, then you will be certified.
ma'am, in terms of job application and everything, does this hold as a very good organization to get a certificate from?
It doesn't hold that much importance in kind of certification, but you may gain some knowledge from it. Like, it is not like a big not like big investment, right? It's like small investment. So many people will not that much consider the certification, but for around 10 to 15% they may consider this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Should we undergo food testing examination for this design after completion of the course?
Yes, after completion of the course, you will have some online test and then you will be certified.
Do companies require
Sorry.
this tool testing certification?
No, for freshers, they won't keep any tool test and all. If they are experienced, then only they will give for some tool test. But even if it comes for some small companies, then again you will be tested for tool test. OEMs, it will be mostly based on the technicals. But if you're going some mid-range of companies, those kind of things, again they will ask for tool test which you have mentioned in your resume. Again, it comes to the resume. Whatever the things that you have mentioned in your resume, from that only they will be asking the questions.
Thank you.
Ma'am, for joining the training program, we need to uh, study any design courses, or we can join as trainee.
No, though, whoever is applied, they will get the training. It is not like you need to do any courses. You have to go for some interview, those kind of things. Whoever has applied for the training program, you will get it.
Thank you.
But it depends on the company also. Like for example, my friends were in Ashok Leyland with this training. Those people just went for one day for they just did the formalities, like application form filling, those kind of formalities they have done, and then only they have joined in that company. It depends on the company also.
Guys, any other questions? Pratyush, do you have any questions? Okay, shall we wind up? Aishwarya, shall we wind up? Pratyush, do you have any questions?
No, sir. No, sir. Ma'am has been much clear.
Okay, thank you. Milan?
Yes, sir.
Milan, we will wind up.
Okay. I thank Miss Aishwarya C, who spared time from her busy schedule to grace the occasion and share her wonderful and inspiring thoughts and teachings with us. I hope we can all take note and motivate ourselves to push that much harder in the field of product design with the elements that come with it. I thank our HOD, the faculties, and the students for gracing the session and sharing with us their opinions. I thank Mr. Vijaykanth sir for coordinating and successfully conducting such an inspiring session and bringing to the stage the importance of product design. I thank everyone else involved in making sure we have a smooth and well conducted session. Thank you.
Thanks, Milan. As I said earlier, you people can contact me if you have any doubts regarding if or any opportunities if you're asking for. And I will also inform you if there is some opportunities in any other companies. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Aishwarya.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
participating.
you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys, for joining. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
sir, how could we contact them, sir?